you may have. So if you have any life insurance questions, feel free to ask those in the chat. Any and all life insurance questions are welcome. If you have any questions whatsoever about life insurance, you're more than welcome to ask those.
That's one of the craziest experiences of my life. It must have been one of the craziest experiences of your life.
Oh yeah, it took me like 2 weeks afterwards to recover. To like, go, did that actually happen? That seems, it's...
Story complex was growing up. It was just the most unbelievable thing. It's like the South Lawn of the White House, but you've got the eight world up around. And every day, I'd look at it and be like, it would take me a couple seconds. What's going on? I'd go like, oh yeah, it's UFC coming in a couple weeks.
The whole thing was surreal.
Yeah.
First of all, it was crazy that the weather just went around us. Like, there was a real moment where the fights would have been postponed until 10:30 p.m. to start.
Correct.
And the last minute, the storm just diverted.
That's right. Well, and this book that I have, that I'm going to talk about.
Hey, welcome to the channel, everybody. If you have any questions about life insurance or any complaints, feel free to ask those. Or you could just swipe away. Swipe away. It's also fine. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you have any questions about life insurance, you are more than welcome to ask those questions, and I will answer them for you. Primarily, I focus on parents who have young kids to make sure that they have a policy in place in the event of their death, but I'm also qualified to help senior citizens or anyone else that has life insurance questions. So you're more than welcome to ask any questions about life insurance or anything in general, and I will answer them for you. If you want to complain about like the life insurance process, you are welcome to do that as well. You are preaching to the choir if you have complaints about getting life insurance, that process. So feel free to ask any and all questions. You've had complaints, so you got complaints about looking for life insurance? Yeah, that's not uncommon. Not uncommon at all, actually. The entire process is designed to keep you guessing, right? It's designed to get you to fill out those forms online to get your information and then have people call you nonstop. So you're always second guessing yourself. It's hard to be confident in the decision just because so many people are coming at you from so many different directions. So that's not uncommon. Also, you might not be confident in the company, confident in the price, confident in the agent. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm great. How are you? That's a nice question of you to ask, by the way. I'm great. How are you doing? How are you doing? Good. You got any life insurance questions today, or you just want to hang out? It's not the most entertaining of channels. It is life insurance, but I will do my best. But if anyone does have, I think see someone else join. If you got any questions about life insurance, I'll be more than happy to ask. Oh, hang out. Yeah, absolutely hang out. Maybe we'll get some parents in here and they'll I can help them get some life insurance, especially if they have kids under 18 and they need the coverage the most. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for all the streamers. But yeah, any questions about life insurance, I'll be more than happy to ask. Or complaints. If you want to complain about the life insurance industry, I am all ears on that, and I'll probably will agree with you on in most cases. So all right, and if you are a parent and you are looking for some life insurance information, my recommendation would be to go to Banner Term. They are the best term life insurance policy out there. Process takes maybe 15 minutes to fill out. The coverage amounts are high, the prices are low. Great company. I use them myself. Their parent company's been around for almost 200 years. Banner Term in its current form has been around for over 75 years. And I will post my personal link to Banner Term, my agent page, in case you do want to go on there and see how inexpensive and how fast it is to get life insurance, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. But anyone with any questions, feel free to pop in and ask. Or complaints. I'll take complaints. On behalf of the life insurance industry, I will take any and all complaints that you currently have. No? So no questions or complaints about life insurance. I had a complaint from a lady earlier today who had a policy and the price just kept increasing. England or Argentina? That is a question. Let's see. Who do you want to win? How do different cultures think about life insurance? That's a great question. Well, I think... let's see. I think the Asian culture is really, really big into life insurance. Like, they start out really early. Like, all of my Asian friends, like, as soon as they got married, they got a policy. As soon as they had kids, they got another policy. As soon as they got a mortgage, they got a policy. It's pretty much, as far as I see, and my friends are from Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia. Like, the Asian cultures are really, really big into life insurance. They want to make sure that's in place at all times. I don't think any of my Asian friends have less than $1 million in coverage. As far as other cultures, I think it's it's not as important as it used to be. People don't think about it until they see someone their age or younger die, and they see the impacts of them not having life insurance. I think that's when it really kicks in. It's kind of gone by the wayside in the United States. People are having fewer kids, for one, and it's just not a primary focus anymore, unfortunately. But typically, if people think about death, or if they see someone their age or younger die, they see a GoFundMe pop up, then they start to think about life insurance. But yeah, I'd say the top culture as far as life insurance has got to be the Asian community. They are 100% on top of that. That was a great question, Rooster. And I'm going with England. Oh no, I guess that Argentina is closer, so maybe Argentina. But I don't watch much soccer, but I think Argentina, that is closer, so I'll go with them. Or it's in the Americas, so. Any other questions or complaints about life insurance or anything else? Let me see, England or Argentina? Let's see. When is that? That's today at 3 o'clock, huh? Okay, so 28 minutes until they face off. I gotcha. Who's favored? I wonder. Let's see. Who is favored, England or Argentina? England are okay. All right, so it looks like England is favored in that matchup, but Argentina is not too far behind them as far as the prediction markets. But anybody got any questions or complaints about life insurance? Feel free. If you do have questions, I've done videos on the most common questions, so you can probably find those on my YouTube channel. If you got any specific questions or complaints, you are more than welcome to voice them here, and I will do my best to address them. And 6 people, welcome to the channel. We've determined that England will win today, but Argentina will put up a good fight. And also, we've determined that anyone who has kids under the age of 18 should have a life insurance policy in place. Big 2 takeaways from today's live. Yeah, I see Google has their logo set for a soccer match, so that's good. What's the biggest misconception people have about life insurance? That's a great question. I guess the biggest misconception that they have is essentially the cost, right? Like they think it's going to be super expensive, or people are going to try to upcharge them or get them to pay more than they should. Now that's not necessarily untrue. A lot of times agents or companies will try to sell them as much as they can. Typically you want to go for what is needed and see what that cost is first. But as far as the price for parents, for people who have kids and the kids are under the age of 18, typically those people can get a lot of coverage. I'm talking $500,000 plus of coverage for less than $50 a month. So the price really isn't a factor. People have a lot of misconceptions about what term life insurance does versus whole life insurance. Term life insurance is for younger people who have they have a need to protect their family in the event of their death. So they're raising kids, they're paying off the mortgage, they're doing a lot of things like that. So they need a large amount of coverage. Term life provides that for 10, 20, 30 years while the parents are meeting these obligations. And that's why it's one of the best policies. Whole life policies they do last forever, but they're wildly expensive. Typically, you can get 10 times the coverage with term for 1/5 of the price. So, in my opinion, whole life policies are really best suited for people who want to cover the cost of a burial or a cremation. Although a lot of agents will try to sell them as some kind of investment vehicles, I don't think they are, or at least they're not a very good one. And you are welcome for that answer. Do you have any complaints about life insurance, Rooster? Any complaints? Have you been burned by an agent? Have you been harassed by an agent? Have you been exposed to an advertisement that lied to you? That is not uncommon, actually. None of those things are, unfortunately. It's really tough for people to actually... It's more complicated to get life insurance than it should be. It's a really easy process, like super easy. Like, someone could go online and get a life insurance within 15 to 20 minutes. Like a parent who needs it, they can do it in 15 to 20 minutes, and they can do it for less than $50. So that's why it's so frustrating seeing these GoFundMes with parents that have young kids. You know, they're raising money for the funeral, which I think is good. The community comes together to help out for sure. But you know, like for $50 in 15 minutes, you know, that could have been avoided. And the GoFundMe is only going to last so long. It's going to cover the cost of the burial. Why isn't the importance of life insurance taught in school? I'm not sure why it's not taught in school. I think it used to be a family thing, honestly. I think parents who have life insurance, usually they teach their kids the importance of it. And I think that's how it's done. Typically, if someone lost a parent, whether they had life insurance or not, like their kids usually have life insurance. So if someone lost a parent and their parent had life insurance, they 1000% have life insurance. And if someone has a parent who didn't have life insurance that they lost, then that person usually 100% of the time has life insurance. So that's pretty much how that goes. You're 36, Rob. You're young, man. Yeah, life insurance is super inexpensive, and I just think for what it does, that's really my passion in life insurance is to make sure parents with kids have life insurance. That is the big one. So, let's see. Yeah, well, if you have any questions about it, Robert, you're more or Rooster, you're more than welcome to ask those. I can answer pretty much any question that you have. And if you do have kids, Rooster, you're 36, I would recommend getting something in place, right? I'm not sure if you're in the United States or not, but if you're not in the United States, I'd be more than happy to look up some companies in whatever country you're in to give some recommendations. But yeah, what country are you in, Rooster? I can pull up some stuff. I'm only licensed in the United States, and there's a few states that I'm not licensed in the Northeast. But if you're in another country, I'll pull up some stuff for you. I've looked up information for someone in England before. They were looking for life insurance. They came across my page, and unfortunately, I'm not licensed in England, so I had to find a company for them. I've also helped someone in Australia before find a company. It just wasn't with me. I wasn't their agent. All right, no more questions. No questions, complaints, anything? I'm not sure if I lost Rooster. You might be getting ready for the soccer match. Yep. Welcome to the chat. Any questions or complaints about life insurance? I would be more than happy to fill those. Or if you have questions in general, feel free to ask those as well. All right, welcome to the channel. If you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. Whether you're a senior citizen or a... All right, well, I think they dropped. What is the importance of life insurance? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think covered that one, Rooster. Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. They drop real fast, don't they? I bought a life insurance policy through an agent who told me I could withdraw my money, penalties, and that policy would bill some. Oh boy. Yeah, don't do that. Yes. I'm sorry that happened to you. That is got to be beyond frustrating. It sounded like maybe they sold you like an index universal life insurance policy or something like that. Those I don't recommend those at all. By the way, that's what they sell. They sell. Did they tell you that your money would increase with the market? You wouldn't lose anything. You could borrow against it. Yeah, the first 3 years of those policies, they're all fees. They're going to the agent or to the life insurance company. You do build a little bit of money after the third year, but if you take money out, I think it's within the first 7 years or so, there are massive penalties. That has got to be so frustrating. Now, typically, what I recommend if let's say if you're looking for a large amount of coverage, would be to get a term policy and then take the money you save, which should be a significant amount, and just put it into a mutual fund or do an investment yourself. Those policies, I think what they do, Rashid, is that they talk about the upsides to those policies, but they never tell you about the negative things, right? It's all sunshine and roses, but they never tell you about the manure and the bugs, right? So they don't give you a full idea of what those policies are. I typically stay away from those, and I go towards something simple and something effective. And typically, it's a lot less expensive too. How much were you? I'm just out of curiosity. How much were you paying each month for that? If you're still on the chat, I'm just curious, how much were they charging you for that each month? I'm assuming that it was not cheap. And later, I found out that there was surrender charge. Yeah, restrictions. Yep, policy wasn't what I thought it was buying. Yeah. And that's why people don't like life insurance agents too, right? We work on commission too, and those types of policies that you were sold, there is a massive commission on those, right? So the agent made a lot of money, and in my opinion, he probably didn't have your best interest at heart. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I don't know the situation personally, but I see that more often than not. But yeah, if you're still there, I am curious how much they were charging you each month. That just seems like, and that's also another reason why you want to be really careful with who you work with, right? If they tell you all the bright sides to a policy and they don't tell you the negatives, they will get you. Yeah, $350 a month. Wow. Okay, yeah. So I don't even want to tell you how much money that person made from that. But how old were you when you got it? Just out of curiosity. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really am. That's what gives life insurance a bad name. Yeah, I'm guessing it was either an index universal life insurance policy or they sold you like a a whole life insurance policy. They told you that, you know, it builds cash value, that you could borrow against it, or something like that. Most of the time, if you're relatively young and healthy, you can get a lot more coverage for a lot less money. And then you can, the money that you save, what I recommend is, let's say, I'm not sure how old you are, or how much coverage you would need, but I would recommend getting a term policy. And it's probably maybe 50, depending on your age, between 30 to 50 or $60 a month. That's $290 you save off the insurance. I would recommend taking that money if you want to build the wealth and invest that yourself, right? Put it into a mutual fund, or you know, an Acorn account. You know, they usually, like even Acorns, they'll show you how your money will increase over time based on your contribution. So, but yeah, that's not an uncommon experience either. Where they'll talk about all the positives, and they won't tell you any of the downside. But I'm glad you got out of that policy. You did get out of the policy, right? You are you still paying into that? I hope you got out of it. Oh, you were 29. Oh, that's even worse. All right, let's see. That's even worse that they did that. Yeah, I always look at, if you're under 40 and someone tries, actually I'd say probably under 50 and someone tries to sell you a whole life policy or something like that, I would really question it. Let me see. What would you have paid? How much was your coverage on that? Just to give you an idea of what you would have paid for a term policy. Hey, Mohammed, how are you? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Pull up just an idea of a 29-year-old here. And this will be in the States. So I'm just pulling up an idea of, you know, what it would cost in the States. I'm not sure where you're located, but I'll do maybe $500,000 worth of coverage here. I'm going to pull up a quick quote here, just to kind of give you an idea of what you would have paid. If you were in the States, I'm not sure where you're at, but a 30-year, $500,000 term, which means you would have $500,000 worth of coverage for 30 years, provided you're a non-smoker and you're in good health, it would have been about $30 a month. And I'm almost positive that they didn't give you that level of coverage. So you said you were paying $350, right? Oh, it was around $500. Okay, so yeah, you were paying $350 for that. A term policy would have cost you roughly $28 to maybe $35, and the difference of that would have been like $315 a month. And that money you could have invested. What I like to do, I like to put that in an investment calculator just to see what it would have been at the end of that 30 years, right? So for 30 years, you would have had the $500,000 worth of coverage. You would have and you would have been paying like $30 a month. And also at that time, if you wanted to do investments, you could have put the $350 into an investment account. And let me just take a look here. If you have a second, I don't mind running the math here for you. So let's say you put in just $300 a month into an investment account. I think the average rate of return for the market is what, like 8 to 12%. We'll go on the low end. Let's see. We'll do for 30 years and see how much that is. So we put in $3,600 a month for 30 years, or $3,600 a year for 30 years. Wow. I don't want to tell you how much that is. But yeah, let's see. So at the end of, if you would have done that at the end of 30 years, you would have had over $400,000 in the market. where you've only paid $100,000. More than likely, with that policy they sold you, you'd still be paying on it, and you wouldn't have nearly that much in your cash value. So, yeah, you just have to be really, really careful with who you fish not filled. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, Muhammad, but it was around 500,000. Yeah, let me see here. Was that someone you knew by any chance? Was that like a friend of the family? I see that a lot too. Like a friend of the family comes around, they're selling like index universal life or whole life insurance policies, and they kind of, and in their defense, maybe like if they're a friend of the family, maybe they don't know what they're selling. Honestly, I see that a lot too. Like sometimes the agents that sell this stuff, they're only told the good stuff too. They're not told the bad either. So that another reason why you really need to be careful with who you work with, and it just gives the industry a bad name. Medicated family function. Yep, yep. That's typically how a lot of those go. Um, well, I'm not sure how old are now, or if you even need anything, but there is my personal link for Banner Term. It's a term life company, and they are a fantastic company, and that's who I use. But that's in case you need it. I'm not sure if you need it anymore, if you've already got the life insurance taken care of, but it's there just in case. But yeah, I see so many people, and like I said, sometimes people just, they get into life insurance, they don't have the experience, there's no training, and they're just told, hey, sell this product, and they're told all the positive stuff. So that might be the situation. If he was a friend, I wouldn't completely disown him. Maybe he or she just didn't know, right? That I see that a lot, a lot. Um, yeah, I've been doing this for like nearly a decade now, and the things I've seen in life insurance, it's crazy. If your 29 years old self asked you for financial advice, what would you give them? If my 29-year-old self buy Bitcoin, when I was 29, I think it was still around, so it was still cheap. But yeah, I would just be careful with the people you work with. I guess for that, you really want to. I think you want to be careful with who you work with, right? Unfortunately you can't trust a lot of people. I've been in this industry for 10 years, and I can tell you, from the agent side of things, like there's some good agents. There are some really good agents out there. Uh, but there's also some not so good agents, and some of the companies you work with. I'm not talking about the life insurance company, but some of the agencies themselves. Some of them are very deceptive too. So I think that's one of the biggest pieces would be to just kind of be careful with who you work with. Now, what about you? What kind of advice would you give yourself besides buy Bitcoin? And no, I would probably get life insurance first. I would probably get, like, if you got a family, if you got kids, yeah, get the life insurance first, and then get the Bitcoin second. But yeah, that's the cool thing about term. It's so inexpensive. You can do both. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. And thanks for the questions too, by the way, and sharing that story. Really appreciate that. And yet again, I am sorry that happened to you, man. I really am. It's just frustrating. No, it would definitely be life insurance and then Bitcoin. If I had a family, like if I'm single, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids, then, you know, with the life insurance, it's good to have, but it's not critical. But if you got kids or a wife or a husband, I guess, that's when it really comes into play. And let's see, take a look in here. And if it makes you feel any better, several people get those policies and they end up canceling them. There is actually a few lawyers that are suing life insurance agents because they sold those products. They convinced senior citizens or more elderly people to cash out their 401ks and put them in the same type of policy that you had. So there's a lot of attorneys out there making a lot of bank by suing these agents that push those products on people, especially if they had them cash out their 401k and then divert it to an index universal. All right, I'm gonna see if there's any more questions in here besides Bitcoin. Or England or Argentina. I think we've determined that it's going to be a close match, but England is the favorite. So, and also make sure you know who you're working with, right? That's another big one. So, any other questions about life insurance? I'll do my best to answer them. No other questions? No Argentina? No life insurance term, whole life, IULs? Any questions like that? My rule of thumb is avoid IULs. Whole life, I think that's best suited for senior citizens looking to cover the cost of a burial or cremation. And term life policies, those are the ones that do expire, but they last a certain period of time, like 10, 20, 30 years. My recommendations, if you have people who depend on you, like kids or a spouse, and you still have things you need to accomplish, like paying off the mortgage, that's where a term policy comes into play, is because it offers a huge amount of coverage for a very little bit of money a month, you know. And the money you save on a term policy, if you were so inclined to invest it into the market or Bitcoin or whatever you chose to do, that would be it. Hey man, not a problem, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, man, that sucks that you had to go through that. Um, but it's not uncommon. You're not the only person that had a situation. Usually it's a friend of a family, or it's like a family member that got licensed and they were told that this is the greatest product of all time, and then they're all excited and eager, and they get people to sign up for it without fully understanding it themselves. So I've seen that so many times, and typically it is at a family function. And it's a friend of the family. So I appreciate you joining the channel and actually asking a life insurance question. I've been trying to gain some leeway into the online space. Most of my clients are referrals, like that I meet in social gatherings. I don't sell them bad products, Raj. I don't sell them bad products, but I usually meet most of my clients through like social meetings or friends or referrals. So I'm glad that someone came on here and asked a life insurance question. I really appreciate that. All right. And do we have any more questions? I think I have a meeting here in about 28 minutes, but I still have time for some more questions or why I think every parent should have life insurance, like every single one. If you got kids under 18, that's where it is. And if you do know anybody who has kids under 18, feel free to send them my way. I'll be more than happy to help them out without the pressure or the spam or the lies or anything like that. I've been doing it for a while. I wouldn't recommend a company that I don't personally use or would use. So. I believe the match has started, but hey, welcome to the channel, third person. We were just talking about some life insurance, but if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. Or if you have some complaints about experiences with life insurance, you're more than welcome to share those as well. I think we lost some. Still got 2 people here. Anyone else have any topics? Any questions about life insurance? Or if you know some parents who have kids under 18, why they should get life insurance? All right, it's a quiet room. Let's see. I don't know if there are any other questions online, perhaps. All right, what companies would I recommend for term policy? For term policies, there's a few companies that I would recommend personally. There's one that I like the best. That's the link I put in the chat. I think Banner Term is the best life insurance company in the United States for term coverage. I think they've got the best They've got the best prices. There are a few competitors. I think Protective, Prudential, Pacific, a lot of P's. But if you get with any one of those carriers for your term coverage, you should be in good shape. For whole life, this is for senior citizens only looking for a small amount of coverage to cover burials or cremation. So it's not going to be the $500,000 policy. It's going to be like $5,000 to $15,000 of permanent whole life policy coverage. In those situations, my recommendation is if you don't have any major health issues, beyond high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes, and the diabetes has to be controlled. You can't have neuropathy or any kind of secondary impacts, like any kind of kidney issues or liver. So if you've got health conditions that are only high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes, my recommendation, if you're a senior looking for whole life insurance coverage, would be to go to Mutual of Omaha. You think watching U.S. politics makes people want more life insurance? It could. I don't know. Politics could definitely make people want more life insurance. I stay away from the news, honestly. It seems like it's designed to either scare you or make you angry. So I try to avoid it if possible. I assume that if something major was happening, that my neighbors would let me know, right? So I try to avoid it, but I would imagine that it is really stressful watching the news every day. Yeah, I don't even know what's happening. Are you gonna make me look at the news? Let's see. What is happening in the news today? Anything good? Probably not. Let's see. No. All right, I checked the left-wing news. Now let me check the right-wing news. Maybe they have some good news. I doubt it, but no, no good news. No good, Rashik. No good news. All right, and it looks like I am by myself again. But oh no, I got another viewer. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Just had a great conversation with some people earlier, but if you have any questions or complaints, feel free to ask. All right. No questions or complaints about life insurance or in general. My friend earlier said watching U.S. politics makes people want to get life insurance, and I think that's probably a true statement. All right. Got another person. If you have any questions about life insurance, feel free to ask. I've had some good conversations today about it. It's really nice. A nice change of pace. Typically, I go live every day on YouTube and Facebook to answer any life insurance questions or help people get life insurance if that's something they're interested in. But if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. Someone asked about a soccer match earlier, so anything is fair game. Now, here is another story of fraud, if anyone's interested. And so why you got to be careful with who you work with. That was a topic that we were talking about earlier. There was a lady who lost her 7-year-old son in a fire at the 4th of July. Somebody was shooting off fireworks legally. And she thought she had a life insurance policy on him. She'd been paying the every month for the life insurance. And, once she called the company to submit the death claim, they said that there was no life insurance policy. So apparently there was this guy going around pretending to sell life insurance to people. Probably multiple people. So he's pretending to sell life insurance to multiple people. He'd come around every month to collect payments, and I'm assuming he was keeping the money. They didn't give any updates on whether or not they caught the guy, but that was an absolutely horrible story. This happened, I think it was in Georgia. I hope they catch that guy and put him in jail forever, but yeah, one thing to know is, like, usually life insurance companies, they don't take cash. Like, they don't do that anymore. Back in the day, back in the maybe late 80s, early 90s, they would go around door to door to collect the payments. But, ever since, I'd say 2000, probably 2005, especially around 2010, they just started doing automatic drafts. That the whole, mailing a payment in, they don't do that too much anymore. Usually it's directly drafted from your checking account or savings account. Some companies still take credit cards, but the downside to taking credit cards is they expire. So if they try to draft from your credit card and it's expired, then you miss a payment and the policy could potentially cancel. So another example of being careful who you work with. Also, who you answer the phone for, too. That's a big one. The life insurance agents that make those phone calls all day will say anything to get on the phone with you. And I mean almost anything. they'll say they're calling from the Senior Benefit Center. There's no Senior Benefit Center. They're saying that they're reviewing your file with the Social Security Administration. They're not. They will use pretty much any trick in the book to get on phone to try to push a product on you. So be careful with that too. Like when you answer the phone and you didn't request any information, you don't know who you're talking to, just be careful with that. Typically, to verify an agent is an agent, they will have a national producer number. Let's see, what is it? Try to remember how many digits it is. So an eight-digit code. I'm sorry, but it'll be an 8-digit code. So you can go to the registry for insurance. You can pull up their information to show that they are licensed, they're qualified to work with life insurance. So just be careful with who you work with. All right. Yeah, I think I did a video on that mom that lost her son, and they because somebody was scamming her out of a life insurance payment. Well, on the bright side of that story, they did, the community came together and they raised enough money to take care of everything. So that was the positive side of the story, if you can find one. Let's see, any more? So I did watch the news. I did watch the news briefly. Just I saw that. I think that might have been in my algorithm with life insurance. I think that popped up. What time is it? Okay, I got about 15 more minutes. Got about 15 more minutes before my next call. But if anyone has any questions about life insurance or complaints, feel free to ask. Or in general. Okay. One viewer, and I'm not sure if that is me. I guess that's not me. Okay. All right. Hey, welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you have any questions about life insurance or you have any complaints about life insurance, you're more than welcome to ask them or voice the complaints here. And I will see what I can do to answer. We've had a great conversation on the people you can trust in life insurance. But if you have any questions about different companies or policies, you have Mutual of Omaha, if you got questions about them, if you got questions about Colonial Penn or Globe, I'm not affiliated with those, but I can answer those questions as well. 737 life insurance companies in the U.S. I'm familiar with the top maybe 100, 150. Beyond that, I typically don't go to some of those companies. I like to work with companies that I can personally trust. I'm not saying you can't trust all 737, but my experience, I don't want to work with them unless I would actually use them. So no more questions, huh? I did have one interesting. Let me see if I can sign up for subscribe to your page, Rakshit. I'm going to sign up for your page. You got a kitten there, which is a nice kitten. So I'm going to subscribe to yours and see if there is any videos or anything. At least I can do for the interesting conversation. What is it, guys? My dogs are here. They're having some issues, apparently. There you go. What is it? Oh, is your collar giving a false positive there? I got you. There you go. Gonna say hello to the chat? One person on there. I don't think they have any life insurance questions, but maybe they'll like to see you. Hey, Carmi. You say hello? Yeah? All right. And that was my dog, Karma. She says hello to everybody in the chat. And welcome to the chat, by the way. If you have any questions about life insurance or any complaints, any bad experiences, you're more than welcome to share them here. Hey, buddy. All right, guys, I've got about 10 minutes before my next meeting. So I think I might hop off if there are no more questions, but I thank everybody for joining, especially Rakshit. Probably saying that name wrong, I apologize. But thank you especially for sharing your experience with the Index Universal Life Insurance salesperson. Sorry you had to get through that. But until next time, I'll probably be back on later live today. I've got a meeting at 3:30, another one at 4:30. So I'll probably be back online later today. If anyone does have any questions about life insurance or would like to get a life insurance policy from a trustworthy agent, I am more than happy to hop back on later. All right, guys, until next time.